What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of the Super Mario Brothers movie, the animated film from Nintendo and Illumination. Man, it's been a long time coming, huh? We got Nintendo back with their hands on the wheel, tapping into all their famous characters, famous franchises, and actually making a film. Um, it's been a long time since the disastrous Mario Brothers film from 1993, which Nintendo was not involved in. So since then, more recently, Nintendo has decided that they finally realized, I guess, that IP is the name of the game. And when you have something as ubiquitous as Mario, you should probably act on it. And they did, because I think this movie, Super Mario Bros. Movie, is a really faithful adaptation that, especially if you have if the audience has knowledge of the franchise going in, will have a lot of reference points to fans of Mario. Sound effects, the animations, the visuals, all of this will look very familiar to people that have played Mario games, whether that's Mario Kart, 3D platformer Marios, the OOG 2D platformer Marios, whatever it is. It's a very faithful presentation of Mario. And if that's what you're looking for, this movie is a success. This is still a kids' film. This is still a film that's 90 minutes with the most A to B, down the middle, straightforward plot, three-act structure you've probably ever seen. It's very simple. But the audience is not really for someone looking at it too deeply. And if you think about it a little bit further, has Mario as a franchise, in any of its iterations, ever been something that lends itself to a tremendous story? The answer is no. Mario is a husk. Mario is a archetype, a avatar for whatever Mario is up to in said game, whether he is an athlete, whether he is a adventurer, whether he is a medical doctor, whatever it is in the games, Mario can do it because that's what Mario is. He is just a blank slate. So you don't really need to color in too much to any of the characterization, I think, with this franchise. Just kind of lend itself to presenting Mario for what it is. And I enjoyed my time with it, but it's pretty obvious that it's a very simple, straightforward film. But I think that was Netflix or Nintendo's aim, was just to be very faithful to Mario, and that familiarity would be the selling point. You know, a lot's been made of the voice cast of this movie. No, been all white cast, kind of surprisingly, I guess. But Chris Pratt is the voice of Mario. Charlie Day, Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy, Princess Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. That's kind of the core group. I think Pratt is totally fine as Mario. There's nothing really wrong with him. He doesn't really sound like Pratt either, so it's a better performance than I expected. He's not really in the way. I think at the end of the day, like, Mario is presented as like a Italian stereotype, and this movie really leans into the Italian stereotype of Mario. So, given all that, probably better if someone a bit more convincing and realistic than Pratt was the voice. Alas, that here was where we are. Rogan still kind of sounds like Rogan doing the voice of Donkey Kong, so that is what it is. It's fine. Anya Taylor-Joy, pretty good as Peach, but it definitely sounds like her more than it sounds like her playing someone else. And Charlie Day, I actually quite liked a lot as Luigi, but the star of the voice cast is Jack Black as Bowser, because he actually, via the rating, honestly, portraying Bowser as his, like, lover pursuing Peach, and not that that's out of nowhere when it comes to the games, but like, it gives Jack Black something to work with Bowser. And there's some really funny like musical moments where Black is or Bowser's singing at a piano or doing what he's doing, and Black gets to really channel like his tenacious D pass and just chew it up and have fun. And the Bowser stuff's pretty funny. Like I said, tons of like references and nods to stuff, like Kamek, the Magic Koopa. He is a solid supporting figure in all the Bowser scenes. Wasn't expecting that, for example. Um, you have all kinds of references to Mario Kart and all the platformers, and Diddy Kong Racing. The list goes on. It's a lot of stuff to recognize. And yeah, I think like I said, it's a pretty faithful adaptation. Nothing really too deep about it. My favorite moment about the movie is probably the Mario Kart sequence, where you literally watch Mario and Peach and Toad, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key. You watch them like picking their carts, and they're literally spinning the dial like you do in the games to pick out all your like attachments, and your components. And while they're doing that, picking out their carts, AC/DC's Thunderstruck is playing. It was actually a pretty hard moment. I thought that was pretty amusing. Um, I think the animation is very impressive. It looks very good. It looks very much like Mario. Illumination was probably a really smart choice to do this. Of course, Illumination, one of the most successful animation houses of the last decade, with Despicable Me and Minions, as well as Secret Life of Pets and Sing. They're dominating, and this is a really smart choice and big pickup for Illumination, because this film's going to be a huge hit, looking at like 150-ish million for the 5-day week opening weekend. This came out on Wednesday. Take advantage of Easter weekend holidays. Going to be one of the biggest movies of the year, certainly in that top 10, no doubt. Going to be a franchise. There's a post-credit scene that's very obvious and easy to predict, very reminiscent of the Sonic the Hedgehog post-credit scene we got recently for that first Sonic movie, where just teasing a character that you didn't see yet, that was on the mind of everyone watching the film, that they noticed they didn't see it yet, and then you can see an obvious reference in the post-credit scene to that character showing up in the sequel. So you can pretty much guess who that character is. I won't say it here, but yeah, Super Mario Bros. Movie. Ultimately, it's a kids' movie, but it's a faithful, competent adaptation, and another example of video game movies, video game projects turning over a new leaf in terms of being successful and having audience support behind them. Of course, HBO knocked out of the park with The Last of Us earlier this year. This is another example, though, of a film that is perfectly solid for what it is and has the fan support. So we've come a long way with video game movies, and with all the other projects in various stages of development, both in the film and TV front. We will be seeing a lot more video game films in the future. But let me know, how'd you feel about Mario? Did it do enough for you if you're an adult, despite the obvious kid nature of the film? And for more movie reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.